hot spot for UFOs coming in and out of the ocean. And he claims that there's a tunnel that goes all the way to Area 51 and further that these UFOs can be traveling back and forth to.
Yeah, that would be the Catalina area. There's all kind of reports going back dozens and dozens of years. Matter of fact, I think one of them big sightings there that they've talked about a lot on the internet and TV has been going on there. And there's been claims of bases under the water there. It's so deep you can't really, I don't think, get to it to really investigate it.
Yeah, they have all kinds of, being in the military, and I was in military intelligence. I was a 97 Bravo intelligence analyst. Was one particular evening, we were called out, and we went on a bus, and all the windows were blacked out, and we went to Operation Tango. Operation Tango was inside of a mountain. So it was an underground complex. I don't know where the location was. All I can tell you, it was in South Korea. And it was a listening post for Red China and for North Korea. So that's what our job was to go in there and listen. So, yeah, the military has all kinds, and I've been to, well, not inside Area 51, but on the outside of Area 51, and talking to a lot of the people there, and I talked to 2 former employees, and they said there's a huge underground complex at Area 51 that goes all the way to Colorado, goes all the way to Utah, and goes to other military bases, even like Fort Hood, Texas. So, and I was at Fort Hood, Texas with 2nd AD Hell on Wheels, General Patton Zone, and there was talk that there was an underground base under Fort Hood. So, yeah, I think there's underground bases all over the place.
That is what's really scary because, you know, seeing the reports of these things, you know, and then we go into the missing people that are vanishing all over the country, everywhere, not just in the national forest. And it makes me wonder if some of these sightings of these aliens and UFOs are the type where they're picking up humans and doing more than just abducting them and returning. I think a lot of people are not being returned.
Oh, yeah, and Mount Shasta. There's missing people at Mount Shasta. I mean, they just vanish. And there's reports of UFOs that actually go into the mountain itself. And there's a lot of caverns there. And they said there's possibly an alien base or a military base at Mount Shasta. And they also, too, saw 2 fighter jets go inside the mountain. So if you have UFOs and military jets going into the mountain, maybe there's some kind of collation between the two where the military is working alongside the aliens. Who knows? But there is also, too, a story that the military was in league with the aliens. We were getting their technology, and they wanted to abduct humans to do their DNA experiments or modify humans with DNA. So the military was allowing them to do what's called angel stops. And the aliens started over-exceeding their abductions, which caused a skirmish between the military and the aliens. And they had a skirmish over in Dulce, New Mexico, where a cavern caved in, and I forget what the gentleman's name is, but he found himself face-to-face with a bunch of aliens. And some special forces ops came in there, and they had a little battle. So there's a lot of stuff going on there we just don't know about.
Well, like Mary Joyce claims that some of these, you know, aliens love humans for food too, and that they're cannibals. So that kind of alarms me. You know, just up in Oregon here, just recently, there was, a couple more mutilations, James, of cattle, of bulls?
Yeah, there was 5 of them, purebreds at $2,000 to $3,000 a piece, and there's no sign of any predator activity, no tracks, no car tracks, no animal tracks. They're all drained of blood. And there was reports, I believe, Gary, wasn't it, that they may have been drained and tested on standing up and alive?
Oh, yeah, that's what I was reading. There was a report there, because when you remove the eyes, the fluid, behind the eyes and the brain, okay, if the animal was laying down on its side, would have ran off the side of his head. These things, the fluid ran out off their nose. So it had to be, they said they had to be standing when their eyes were removed and, all this other stuff was going on. That makes me so concerned that whatever is going on with these abductions and mutilations, they don't care about what the animal feels like. And the same way with human mutilations. I don't think they care. I just don't. I don't think they have compassion like we do, or at least most of us do.
No, not at all. And Gary, if we look back at some of the guests we've had on, when they describe some of their abductions, they're describing standing up and being experimented on or cruel stuff done to them while they're awake and alive and standing, and it's horrific. It's just horrific.
Well, maybe I'm wrong, but I know Calvin Parker said he was laid down at one point, but then another point he said he was standing when they were trying to do something. And I've heard that again from a couple other people that claimed that they were abducted, that they were standing while some of these experiments on them were trying to, take place.
Yeah, it was him. It was Calvin. Yeah, that's horrific. Now, I got to ask, Paul, have you had any reports of abductions and cryptids coinciding with each other with people, or how's that work with you?
I'm actually married to one. I'm married to an abductee. She was abducted as a child, my wife, in Auburn, California, and she refers to UFO as the mysterious eye because when she was looking at it in the sky, it looked like an eyeball to her. And she was abducted, taken aboard the craft, and that's where she gained her psychic medium abilities. And here's this kind of blew me away, and it'll blow you away. It'll blow you and James away. But she has the ability to uncloak UFOs. And case example, we're going down the road here in Elk Grove, and she tells me to pull into the parking lot. And I go, why? She goes, just pull into the parking lot. Don't ask me why, just pull in there. I said, okay. So I pull into this parking lot in Elk Grove, and she goes, there's something in the sky over there. And I'm looking at the sky, and I don't see nothing. She doesn't see nothing. She pulls out her camera, she snaps a photo, and on that photo were 3 discs flying in formation, in V formation, and they were glowing. We sent that photo over to MUFON, and I explained in an article exactly what occurred. Well, then I'm picking up 14 Times magazine, which is published out of England, and they have a full-blown article on Deanna, my wife, and the picture of her UFO. And she didn't just do that one time. She did it like 5 different times. We were going down in Copperopolis. She felt there was something in the sky. I didn't see nothing. She didn't see nothing. She takes a picture, and there's a black portal in the sky. It looks like a door in the sky. She did that one, and then in, where was it, Bodega Bay, she saw what looked like, she thought there was something in the sky. It was a night sky, and it looked like a little rocket ship with flames coming out from the end. And we saw that. I saw that with her. And then we're going up to Natomas and Sacramento, I-5 North. And she goes, if you look in the sky, she didn't have a camera. She goes, if you look in the sky, there's a black cube in the sky. I go, come on, Deanna. No, you're kidding me. And I'm trying to pay attention to the road. There's a lot of cars on the road. And she goes, just take a look real quick. And I take a look real quick, and there's a black cube in the sky. So it's just really amazing. And even like when we do paranormal investigations, like one time she tells us, she goes, well, the ghost is now sitting on the couch. So three of us are taking pictures of the couch, and there's this mist on the couch. She goes, if you take a picture again, the ghost is behind the couch. We take a picture, and the mist is now behind the couch. So she does really have some incredible abilities, and MUFON was not able to dispute her photograph of the UFOs taken in Elk Grove. So they have no idea what it was.
Interesting.
Oh, wow. I got to ask, when you're out in the middle of nowhere in the woods and you're doing investigation maybe for these cryptids, Bigfoot or whatever, and you don't ever feel threatened being out in the middle of nowhere, maybe hearing noises you can't explain or something like that? How's that feeling about being out there like that?
Well, I get more creeped out on the humans out there in the middle of the woods. There's been times when we're actually doing some investigation in the woods, and sometimes there's some creepy people out there, and it's like, okay, and then I start thinking about the old horror movies that I've been watching, and a lot of things go in my mind. I say, okay, well, let's move from this area to another area. So I get more creeped out by the people out there.
You also got to be careful, too, because, before I, had my encounter, back in the early 2000s, I grew up going camping, going out in the woods all my life. But you got to be careful when you start going out somewhat deep in the woods, because you get these people, they have sidearms and rifles, and they just target shoot at anything that they want. And you get yourself killed even that way. Or you can run across somebody that's totally crazy, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, we're very careful, and I always believe there's strength in numbers. So if I do an excursion like that, I do have a lot of people with me. So and that helps a lot. Have you ever heard of the Napa rebobs?
No, but can we save that? We got about a minute before we got to go to a break.
Okay.
Okay, but I got to ask you, has these abductions with your wife, even if she became, psychic from it, has it caused any problems with your relationship? I mean, a lot of people I have talked to who have been abducted or claim they have been, they tell me every time they go to bed at night, deep in their mind, they got one thought they can never seem to get rid of is, am I going to be abducted tonight? No.
I think she was actually abducted one time while we're married. Just some strange things happen. So, yeah, it's kind of strange sometimes.
Yeah, it'd be kind of hard on a relationship, I would think. I'm just thinking of Timothy Cullen, Calvin Parker, and a whole bunch of other people I've had on that, Dave Edmonds and stuff that have been, abducted repeatedly. I think it scars people. Anyway, we're going to be back in 3.5 minutes. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark with our guests, Paul Roberts and James out there, Krischbaum, Michael Hart, and myself. We'll be back.
Eons ago, when eagles were born, the Godhead let us reign free. We were on the run and the continuum, making choices in a cosmic spree. thought process that endures today, a conundrum